Hello there, Treasury community. It's Simon Lynch here from Treasury Talent. I wanted to just have a quick chat with you about titles. It's a question I get asked a lot, and it's one of the most misleading things that there is within Treasury. This was prompted by a Treasury manager chatting to me the other day and asking me, he really wanted to become a Treasury director, and would it be possible for me to place him from a Treasury manager to a Treasury director role? I stopped him and said, look, Treasury titles are the most misleading thing that you can have to go to decide on what your next career job is going to be. You're overthinking the job title. The title shouldn't matter. It should be more about what is in the role that is going to help you progress your career. So that may be many things. And that, to be fair, is going to be an individually based thing. It depends on what you want in your career and the direction that you want to take your role. But if you're someone who's doing cash management currently and you haven't had exposure to an international company with a lot of FX, if you're in a business that is a tech business, for instance, that has a lot of cash and you've never done bonds or debt capital markets, if you're in a really big company where you've got a really narrow subject matter expertise role and you want to get a broader role covering everything, cash, funding, FX, all in one role, reporting directly into a treasurer, for instance. If you're the other way, if you're in a company that is small and you need to get some subject matter expertise, these are all the decisions that you need to think about rather than what is the title. It's really easy to put a lot of weight on a title, and to me, it's the last thing on your list that you should actually be worried about. You should be looking to broaden your skills across industries and sectors. Working in tech is very different to working in infrastructure. Working in a retail business is fundamentally different to working for a really big property fund. All of these things will bring you different treasury skills that are going to be more important to getting to the top job in the end. And they're the things that you should be focused on rather than what is the title. The other thing that really complicates things a little bit here is money. Of course, everyone is driven by making more money in making their next role, and I would never advocate to take less money in making a career move. But my example is, I could get someone the same money, let's just say $170,000. That role could be a treasury manager, it could be a senior treasury manager, it might be a treasury director. I even placed someone at that level that was a senior treasury analyst. So what you're getting here is the money doesn't always dictate the title. Titles can be overinflated, titles can be underinflated. If you use the example that I said before, the 170K senior treasury analyst, that role was not a senior treasury analyst in its truest form. It was a business that had massive title deflation because the highest role in that business was a treasury manager. Likewise, you can have title inflation, whereby the role itself might be paying not very much and actually have a really grand title. For instance, I've definitely placed someone on just over 170 in a role that was titled treasurer. Now, the reality is, in its truest form, as we're talking around this level, the 170 sort of mark, that role really is a treasury manager. But it just goes to show titles are really misleading. Make sure they're not the be-all and end-all when you're making a career decision. Talk about things that are going to further your career as opposed to the titles. I hope that helps.